We see from the word that Yah is greater than even his own creation. The world and all of its expanse is not enough to hold him. So if Yah can live anywhere and is everywhere, why does he want to live right in the middle of us? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion, Trumah. Let's go to Exodus, Shemot, chapter number 25, and let's read the first 8 verses. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel that they take up a contribution, a Trumah, for me. From everyone whose heart moves him, you shall take up my contribution. And this is the contribution which you shall take up from them: gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and fine leather and acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. Show them stones, and stones to be set in the shoulder garment and in the breastplate. And they shall make for me a set-apart place, and I shall dwell in their midst. Since creation, Yah has desired to dwell with his created order of mankind. He demonstrated a desire to have fellowship with Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, in the garden. And even after they were expelled, Yah said about the process through Noah and then through Abraham and the future generations to have a people that he could dwell with, that he could be with. The reason that he brought Israel out of the bondage and slavery of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, was to create for himself a people, a peculiar people, a set-apart nation, a royal lineage of priests that could function for him, to him, and that he could have his dwelling in the midst of them. He was seeking to elevate the people. And in fact, that is the purpose of the Torah. While many would say, well, the Torah, the Old Testament, all that law stuff is for bondage, it's enslavement, and it was only given to prove to us that we can't earn salvation by merit. Well, the Torah was never given for the purpose of salvation. It is the lifestyle of those who are born again, who are redeemed. But the purpose of the Torah is to elevate us, to bring us to a place where Yah vitally connects with us as we express his reality through the obedience to his word, to our environment, to our community, to our surroundings. That's a very simplistic way of saying it, but that's the basic gist of the Torah. So since this creation time and Yah dwelling with man, man has found all the ways possible, it would seem, to shove Yah out of the picture. And one might blame, well, it's the work of Hasatan. Satan is doing this. Well, certainly the inspiration may be satanic in its origin, but it would seem that man does not need any help in this regard. Man seems to be fully capable on his own of mishandling Yah and his presence. And so we've chased him out of our schools early on in my early childhood years. And we chased him then out of our courtrooms, out of our government, even though we give token service and we'll have a chaplain of some sort to offer a prayer at the beginning of Congress. Sometimes that's even been laughable, but nonetheless, it is a token response to our heritage. We've even chased him out of our schools and our churches, our Christian schools at times. It would seem like, where is he? Football coaches can be penalized and even fired for kneeling on the football field to pray. It's been noted that at times there have been members of Congress who were sworn into their office with their hand not on so much on a Bible, but on the Quran. Oh, Yah, help us. One might think, well, Yah is so offended, he'll never want to dwell with us again. The heart of Yahweh, though, is about restoration. He is consistently focused on finding a broken, wayward people, revealing to them where they fell off the rails, where they went wrong, and then offering them a restorative path back to himself. This is the immenseness of his mercy. This is the overwhelming nature of his grace. This is the incredible depth of his love. His love even for a people who have turned their backs upon him. But restoration requires this. It takes man partnering with Yah to get this job done. In the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter number 6, if we start reading at verse 16 and read down through 18, we'll find this. And what union has the dwelling place of Elohim with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Elohim, as Elohim has said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Therefore, come out from among them and be separate, says Yahweh, and do not touch what is unclean, and I shall receive you. Now, there's your partnership. I want to dwell among you, but I'm asking this commitment from you that you come out from the unclean and that you refuse to touch it and become a set-apart people. He promises then, and I shall be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says Yahweh the Almighty. So, Yah is asking for our partnership. Now consider this, that when Yah was working the plagues and performing the signs in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, they were very, very obvious and evident to anyone that would pay attention. How could they not pay attention? But then the effects then would subside. When the locusts came in, they were there for a moment, and then they were blown out of the land altogether. There was a point in time where the water cleared up from being blood. The boils were healed at some point. The hailfire that came down upon the ground, balls of hail with fire in it, it stopped. So it was momentary. So we have this big dramatic display, and then it stops. And when it stops, the heart gets hard again, and people forget the intensity of what they just witnessed. When Israel crossed the Red Sea, the sea split. That was a dramatic moment. That was a miraculous moment. That was an incredible, supernatural moment. But eventually the sea came back to its normal state. It is no longer split. It's just a normal sea now. When Mount Sinai was engulfed in the presence, the power, the fire, the cloud, the thunder, the lightning, the voice of Elohim, it was an overwhelming spectacle to where it was such that the people said, this needs to stop or we'll die. And so it ceased. The manifestations come, and then normalcy returns. Yah is looking for more than a momentary manifestation and presentation of himself. Yah desires for permanency. So he commands those whose hearts move them for my permanency, those who want more of me than a momentary exhibition, those who yearn for me, and ask that I would dwell with them, be with them, and never leave them. That those hearts now take up this contribution. And we'll talk more about some of these things that he asked for. But today the idea is he wants to dwell permanently with us. At the time of this recording, there is about 10 or 11 days long a prayer meeting going on at Asbury College in Kentucky. And many are asking the question, well, is this revival? Is this the beginning of a third wave of renewal in America? It can be a momentary flash of his manifested presence, but if we're willing to be set apart through it, it can be the permanency, the long-term effect of outpouring renewal and change in this nation. I think Yah wants that. The question is, do we? I do. Do you? We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.